Well, guilty. Now, I won't talk too much about it because I've said enough about it. I've said my piece. I think it's wrong. I think it's bad for the country. I think the jurors were absolutely pressured into making this decision. I don't think any of them really looked at the evidence. I mean, how can you with 10 hours of deliberation? You can't really look at the evidence. So I think they caved into the pressure, and I totally understand that. I mean, it's wrong because no justice is not being done, I think, but at least Minnesota's not going to burn for a couple weeks anyway, because of course he's going to appeal this, and even the judge said he has a very good shot on appeal. So explain that one to me. Traffic. Everybody's taking their kids to school. Well, that's good to see. A little bit back to normal. Everybody's taking their kids to school. That's a good thing, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, it's gonna get appealed, and like, I think it'll get overturned. Again, that's just my opinion, but so we'll just have to wait and see. This opens up a whole bunch of bad shit for the police, because now these people feel emboldened. Now they're not even getting support from the judicial system. So it's just bad on all fronts. So on the very same day of the verdict, right? It was either the same day or the day after, I believe. That 13-year-old girl or 16-year-old girl gets shot in Columbus. Now, again, like a broken record, the media just jumps to conclusions. Black Lives Matter jumps to conclusions, right? Well, I mean, have you watched the video? Because I did. And that cop is a hero. That cop did exactly what he's supposed to do in a situation like that. It's horrible that it's a 16-year-old girl. But if you watch the video, and not the cut-up one that CNN or NBC or CBS wants you to watch, not the totally absolute opinion piece journalism that you have to read into the 9th paragraph of the story to finally get what happened, what the incident's about, you know? Not Jen Psaki's, not Joe Biden's take on it, not anybody's take on it. You need to watch just the video itself and the whole video. And, you know, the shooting itself is very short. This officer steps out of his car, and this is the situation he's presented with. Total chaos. People are arguing with each other. He walks up. That girl that got shot pushes another girl to the ground, and then supposedly her father, because this guy was yelling, "You killed my baby," at the end of the video. But supposedly her father walks right up to that woman that she just shoved to the ground and kicks her in the head. Now, this is all in front of the cop in the span of less than 10 seconds. Okay, this is what he's presented with. And then, what's the next thing he sees? This woman has the girl in pink up against the car with a knife in her hand, ready to stab her in the neck. In fact, she tries to go for the neck, and the girl in pink deflects it away. Otherwise, she would have been stabbed right in the neck or the face. And in that instant, the cop does what he's trained to do, what he's supposed to do in that situation, and shot this woman. Now, this all happened, I think that the whole thing happened in a span of 14 seconds. So you put yourself in that cop situation, and imagine what you would do in the span of 14 seconds if you were presented with that situation. What would you do? Total fucking chaos, and he has to make a split-second decision. Do I let this black girl kill the other black girl, or do I do my fucking duty and my job and protect somebody's life, which is what he did? That cop is a hero. He's not a villain. If you think that he wanted to kill that person, you're just completely wrong. He didn't want to kill anybody. He didn't want to kill anybody. And if that was the case, he would have got out of his car and just started shooting. Not even looked, just got out and started shooting if he really wanted to kill people. So instead of holding this guy up as a hero, I know it's a horrible thing. You bleeding hearts out there, 16-year-old girl just got shot. Who, by the way, was in the middle of committing a fucking serious felony. Not some minor felony, a serious felony. That cop is, I'll say it again, the cop is a hero, not a villain. But that's not how it is in today's America. Immediately, Black Lives Matter's out protesting. Immediately, they're chanting her name in the street. Immediately, it's just the biggest story in America. LeBron James, you are a fucking coward. You are a fucking race baiter. You're a horrible piece of trash. That's what you are, LeBron. If anybody didn't see it, LeBron tweeted after the thing. Again, it's funny how we don't know the name of the Capitol police officer that shot Ashley Babbitt, but immediately we know the name of this officer. And LeBron James gets a picture of him and tweets out, "You're next. #accountability." What does that mean, LeBron James? What are you implying? You're next. You're a horrible human being, LeBron. Horrible. And you believe your own legend, you know? I'm sorry, but Michael Jordan would eat your breakfast, buddy. Eat your fucking breakfast. But anyway, that's where we're at now. That's where we're at. And this shit's gonna happen over and over again. Because now these people feel emboldened. And again, this wasn't enough for the left. The George Floyd trial wasn't enough. Immediately after it, they're just saying, no, we're not done. We're not done. We need to abolish police, which is the most insane fucking idea. Insane. Just look at the cities. Just Minnesota. Look at Minnesota. They defunded the police. What happened? Murders skyrocket. All kind of crime skyrockets. Why? It's a pretty simple equation. You take away the police on the street, criminals will think they can just do whatever they want. I mean, that's just basic, simple fucking math right there. And the scary part is how much people have bought into this lie that the cops are just indiscriminately killing black people every fucking day. It's a fucking lie. You can look at the statistics. It's out there. The Department of Justice covers all of this. They assemble all this data, and it's there if you want to look at it and understand the real problem. How many people were killed by the cops in 2019? 1,000 people, basically. 1,000 people. How many of those people were black? About 250. So that's 25%. Well, how many white people were killed? A little bit more than that. It was something like 28% of the total of 1,000. So right there, right off the bat, more white people were killed than black people. Oh, but Cody, white people make up 75% of the population. Yeah, that's true. That's true, they do. But still, the numbers don't lie. More white people were killed by cops than black people. It's right there in front of you. Okay, well, how many of those, this is the interesting one, how many of those black people were armed or unarmed? Because armed, I think, is a no-brainer. If you're armed, there's no telling what you can do. You could kill a cop, you could kill the other person you're fighting with, in the case of this 16-year-old girl. So, again, I don't think those numbers count. So, okay, how many unarmed black men were killed by police officers? And I believe the number is under 20. So, out of all the police interactions, out of all the people that were killed by police, about 20 of them were unarmed. Okay, now, That's 20 too much, in my opinion. But is that really the cops out there hunting black people? Because how many interactions do cops have with people? I think the number was like 60 million a year. Yes, every fucking death is a bad thing. Yes, it is. But to pretend that it's like some epidemic, you know? And Amy Horowitz, he's this reporter. He goes and he asks questions. He's famous for like saying a quote that's actually Joe Biden's quote or Nancy Pelosi's quote or Hillary Clinton's quote. He says it and he says, this is what Donald Trump says. And people immediately react, well, that's horrible. And then he tells them at the end, well, really, that wasn't Donald Trump's thing. That was Nancy Pelosi's thing. He's famous for doing that, which is a really eye-opening thing, which shows you how uneducated people are. Well, he goes and he asks these Black Lives Matter protesters that were outside the trial for George Floyd. How many people do you think how many black people do you think are killed by cops every year? And the one that blew my mind was this lady said, thousands, we're getting genocided out of here. This woman believes that the cops are killing thousands of black people every fucking year, when the statistics show that it's not even close to half 1,000 just in 1 year. So it just shows you how deluded people's minds are, how much they believe in this narrative, which is completely false. Completely false. This woman thinks thousands of black people are getting killed every year by the cops. That's the mindset we're dealing with these Black Lives Matter people. It's all political theater. It's all bullshit. And yet, look where it's gone. It's infected all the way to the White House. It's infected everybody. So, no, these shootings aren't going to stop because Derek Chauvin got convicted. These crimes aren't going to stop. They're just going to get worse. That's why this verdict is so wrong. But I mean, I guess either way, that'd be the truth, right? That this wouldn't stop anything. Either way. So they sacrificed Derek Chauvin, the sacrificial lamb, even though I think he's going to get off on appeal because he has a good reason. They sacrifice him in an attempt to fucking appease the problem that they created, that they unleashed on the public. Because that's the truth, is that the media and the Democrats unleashed this on people. They unleashed this thing. They created it because, hey, it's better to have us fighting with each other than us putting our attention in them. And now it's out of control, right? So they're just going to fucking do whatever they can, right, to try and just keep it at bay. But still, it works in their favor because, again, they're not getting watched for what they're really doing, the crimes that they're committing. And that's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. It's just sad to see this is where our country has devolved to. You know? We're fighting over something that's completely made up. We are being manipulated by the media, by our politicians. That's what's happening. All we can do, us real Americans out here that actually give a shit about the country. I mean, we can't even rely on voting people in now. That's a big fucking question mark right there. So what do we have? All we can do is protect our own. That's it. That's all we can do. And it's sad that that's what our lives have been reduced to. Worrying about what the other man's gonna do. You know? It's just sad. Me personally, it hurts my heart because I love my country. I love my country. I love my flag. I love my national anthem. I love what our country stands for. And it's not about systemic racism. That's all bullshit. Our country is the freest in the world and is a beacon of hope for millions of people across the world. And you fucks on the left are wiping your ass with it. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. half the country are truly fucking idiots.